And then you started your business. When did you make that transition? About what year did you make the transition from full-time seller manager to running your business?
Independence Day was July 1, August 1 officially, 2015. Started a side hustle in 2013, 2012. 2012 started a podcast just to kind of share stuff. And then I
Right.
had my first person reach out probably like that January, because it was December when it launched. And then it
Wow.
was Jose Diaz, first client, asked, could you help me with some sales? And like, sure. So I was like, I get off work at this time. Let's connect once a week. So we started working every Wednesday, helping him and his wife with their small business, helping with some sales and guiding them. Um, and because he just saw the podcast post, and then somebody else, actually, I didn't know, Katie Henderson, one of the OGs in Destiny. Katie was in Alabama. Destiny was in Fort Lauderdale. They found the podcast and started to ask about coaching. Next two coaching clients came in. So I was like, there's something to this thing.
There's something there.
And then speaking opportunities started to trickle in little by little, free stuff, and then eventually got paid stuff. And so moonlighting like this and then getting mentioned in some magazines by 2014 was like, there's some little income coming in. 2015, and I would study and listen a lot to books and podcasts. And there's this guy, he's a software entrepreneur, startup founder multiple times. And he said he and his wife had this discussion where she said, essentially, if you can make X amount of dollars per month, um, for 3 months in a row, then you could leave your full-time gig. So share that with Christina, and then we adopted it. So it's like, all right, we need to get to a point where, and this time we were living in a one bedroom, one bath. She's like, you could take care of rent every month with your side hustle, not with your full-time gig,
Hmm.
with your side hustle consistently. Then there's something valuable there where it's not just like a sporadic thing. So we did that. And we had savings. You were in sales, so you're making decent money. Cars, no debt. Cars paid off. Still we're paying some student loans, and it was just like the perfect situation. We didn't have our little guy yet, and it was like, all right, 2015. And I was working on this deal, and I was still reluctant though. Go back to what you're saying, being uncomfortable. I was reluctant because I'm like, yeah, do we really want to jump? Let's see how long we can keep going. But I was working on this deal. It's about $1.50. And then I was going to get my 10% off of it. City, county governments, it takes a minute to get those people to move and to change. Our average deal size
Right.
probably was like 30 to 50K. So this was a bigger
Double
size.
size. Nice. Nice.
Um,
Hmm.
and it's taking a minute. So then our CEO, he came in a part of the deal to help with the last mile. And then he totally changed the deal up at the very end. The school district was giving us the money. They're like, all right, we got our budget. Here's the 150K. And he's like, let's do it over, let's do it where you can pay over years. So he's trying to move to to help the company
A
be evaluated.
recurring revenue
Yeah,
model. Hmm.
because he wanted to he was trying to sell the organization. Anyways, so I was like, hold on, it's gonna take me 5 years to recruit that 10, maybe 11K. And I was like, that's no way, that's stupid. So I got really ticked off, and it pushed me over the edge even more so at that point. And I was like, imagine if I had done this by myself. Could I do this by myself? Could I sell my own product and service? So made a leap. One of my friends had a company. I said, all right, can I do some commission sales for you guys while I'm making some money with the podcast on the side, and then develop my stuff? So they said, yeah. So I jumped ship in 2015. Didn't really do too much work with them. I just went haul in TSE, and my first speaking gig was out there in California. Was a referral. First major speaking gig. They paid me. My wife and I was talking to them. I told Christina, I was like, man, because it's hard to sell yourself versus selling a product and service. So I
Right.
was
Right.
selling
Right.
myself, and I told Christina, and she was like, you need to charge them like 10K. And I was like, I can't do that. I was like, I charge them 8,500. It was 3 1-hour speaking gigs at the different several universities, that they several campuses, and I was like, all right, I can do that. Anyways, but I said 8,500. They didn't bat an eye, and they're like, cool, 8,500. I was like,
You
dang,
wish
I
you would have
should have
said
said
10
10.
now.
But then it taught me something though, Derek.
Yep.
Like that day, I was like, hold on. I spent a year and a half battling for 10K, and I just made this in like a matter of like, I don't know, like
Call it
weeks.
the 3 hours, yeah, or whatever those
Yeah.
sessions were. Mhm.
And I was like, what? So that's when it was like, screw this. So sat down with my boss. I have the audio somewhere. I have to find it on probably one of my old phones, but I recorded myself in my office, and I was like, people are saying, you're young, you're trying to do this as a sale, are you going to coach people? How much experience do you have? And I was like, well, I've had enough experience from high school really, and then from college, and then from the years that I was doing it in the for the companies that I've worked for at that time. So I was like, I got a good 7, 8 years underneath my belt. I'll just do this as a side thing. That was just like formal selling, not like the stuff from before from the book or anything like that.
Right, 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 right,
So
right.
I was like, all right, I'll do it. And the people that I was helping, they were making money and they were being successful. So I was like, screw that. So
Proofs in
I
the
took a
pudding.
chance on myself. So I betted on myself and haven't looked back since. And now we have teams, and now we have a second part of our company at TSC Studios where we produce podcasts for other brands, and we're going to break that off into its own entity. And we have the sales evangelist. I have 2 textbooks. I have the Sell It Like a Mango. I have a sales planner. Um, and we work with people all across the globe. So now it's like, yeah, sometimes you got to take a risk on yourself.